Stay tuned, and if you like this content, be sure to hit the thumbs up. It's the best thing that you can do to get this video seen by more people. So you want to spend about 5 days on St. Thomas. There's a lot to do on this island. You want to make sure that you have the right amount of time to be able to enjoy everything that it has to offer. Now to start with, let's take a look at some of the beaches that you can go and visit while you're on St. Thomas. Let's look at Brewers Bay, which is located on the west side of the island. Now I've made a video on this beach in detail, and you can see that by clicking the card in the upper right hand corner. This beach is really unique in the fact that it's somewhat isolated as far as beaches go on St. Thomas. This beach has a local feel, and it has some basic amenities. It's a good place to go on a walk, or you can go and do some snorkeling if you want to go and see some turtles, which there were plenty in this area when we went. What I liked most about this beach was its sunset. This is definitely the spot that you want to go to if you want to get a great sunset picture while on St. Thomas. Up next there is Secret Harbor. Now this has got to be one of the best spots because the accommodation is right on the beach and there is a boatload of amenities. There is a great restaurant called Sunset Grille that has the best bar on a beach in St. Thomas. And if you like snorkeling and diving, Aqua Action Dive Center is located right on this beach as well. If I make a trip back to St. Thomas, this is where I'm going to plan on staying. In addition, this location is also right near Red Hook, which is a great location to go out in the evenings and weekends. For the divers watching this content, Secret Harbor is the nearest location to the best dive on St. Thomas, and that is Cow and Calf. I've also made a video on that dive, and you can see that by clicking the card in the upper right hand corner. Let's move on to Coki Beach. This is a very popular tourist destination, and you want to be sure to do your homework on this beach before going there. It has paid parking, and it is a compact beach that has a lot of local vendors that are trying to cater and sell you things. It does have snorkeling and it does have walk-in diving, but we did not see a lot of coral while we were at this beach. It is located right next to Coral World, which was not open at the time that we were there. One thing to note is this beach does have a pretty shallow wave break, and that can make a beach experience a little rough at times. I encourage everybody to do a little bit more homework on Coki Beach because it was not one of our favorite beaches on St. Thomas. That beach is Magens Bay Beach. This is unmistakably the best premier beach on St. Thomas and probably one of the best in the Caribbean. It is about 3/4 of a mile long. It has paid entry, but you have food, you have a gift shop, you have a bar, you have lifeguards, which is so important. And they do have a lot of other amenities, including sup rentals and kayaking as well. For more information on Magens Bay Beach, you can click on the link on the top right hand corner for a video that I made specifically for that beach. Just a reminder, if you like this type of content, be sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell for new videos that I'll have coming out in the future. With this beach being paid entry, you are not going to have as many locals trying to sell you things, and the further you move away from the central location, you're going to find a little bit more solitude, and there are also a few walks that you can go on in this area as well. For our trip, this was the most relaxing beach with the greatest amenities, and I would absolutely go back there any day of the week. Switching topics, let's look at some of the historic pieces of St. Thomas. There are a couple of castles that you can go and visit. One is Blackbeard's Castle and the other is Bluebeard's Castle. In addition, you have Fort Christian, the Three Queens statue, and the 99 Steps, which is also pretty well known. To tie this all together, you can get with the St. Thomas Historical Trust, and they have a 2 to 3 hour walking tour that you can take. This tour needs to be booked 24 hours in advance, and there is a $35 per person suggested donation. I'm going to include a link to their website in the comments below. If you don't want to have a guided tour, you can do a self-guided tour. And I'm going to include a link to a website that has a list of locations that you can go to as well. Obviously, with this being the Caribbean, I would make sure to go and visit the Pirate Museum. I'll include a link for that in the comments below. While you're admiring the history that is in Charlotte, Amalie, you can't help but notice the number of high-end retail stores that you can spend at least 2 days going through from store to store, looking for either great bargains or just enjoying some of the experience. We spent probably a 2 hour or 3 hour period here, and that was absolutely nowhere near the amount of time that we should have allocated for that. So plan on spending at least 6 hours there throughout your stay, just to go and experience the different alleys and walkways that you can go through, where you can enjoy a lot of different coffee shops, bars and restaurants, and just really enjoy your time. This is a great activity for you to save for when the weather might not be as nice, or when it may be a little bit too windy on the beaches. We definitely would spend more time there had we known how good it would have been at the start of the trip. Some other activities that are worthwhile mentioning here is the Virgin Islands Eco Tours. This is a kayaking and hiking company, and we went there to go and do a sunset kayak, rather spare of the moment, and it has to be one of the best activities that we did while we were on the island. For a video on that, you can take a look at the card in the top right hand corner. It is a must if you're going to go and enjoy St. Thomas for everything that it can be. You can also find links to a lot of the content I have covered here in the comment section below. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell. You can also go and look at the high life. You can go to Yacht Haven Grand and watch how the billionaires spend their money and see these amazing yachts that they have. But just be sure to plan this around when the cruise lines are in port. While spending time on St. Thomas, it's also important to go and visit the mountaintop. This has to be one of the biggest souvenir stores that I have ever seen in my entire life. They have everything that you would ever need related to St. Thomas. So be sure to add this one on your list. You don't want to miss it. Now, one of the activities that we wish we could have done was the Skyride to Paradise Point, but it was shut down at the time that we were on the island. Let's talk about a couple of bars and restaurants, and I'm going to give a description based on what our main takeaway was from each one of them. So to start off, let's look at Tap and Still. This is great bar food, and it is owned by Rock City Brewing Company. It has 3 locations, including one on St. John, and the bar service is pretty good. If you're looking for some barbecue, you can go to the Smoking Rooster BBQ. I had an amazing half chicken, and we also had a brisket there as well. It is definitely your barbecue spot for the island. For some fine dining, I would recommend going to the Sunset Grille. This is located in Secret Harbor, and it also has the best bar on a beach that we found on St. Thomas. If you're looking for that high life, you can go to the Box Bar, which is in Yacht Haven Grand. And this has got to be the best location for a cocktail, as well as the Instagram shot that you're probably going to want to post as soon as you visited this location. Near the Box Bar, you have our next location, which is the Rum Hut. It is the best location to tie one on and possibly have too many. If you're looking for some seafood, you can try the Craving Crabs. And this is a delicious and a little bit of a rustic spot, but we enjoyed it nonetheless. If you're like me and you like a good basket of nachos, you definitely want to try the Gringo's Caribbean Cantina. This is an awesome location and is a good pit stop while you're going through all of those stores. And another location to get a break from your shopping experience is Bumpa's Sandwich Shop. This is a very simple food, made to order. A great location to rest as long as it's between 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. I'd like to end this content about planning your trip to St. Thomas by focusing on transportation. First of all, be sure if you're going to reserve a car on the island, make sure that you do so a month or two ahead of time. They are in high demand, and we found out the hard way that you cannot arrive on island and expect to get a vehicle. And also plan on using taxis to get around the island, but I would not take this as a preference over a rental car. Taking a taxi, you have to make sure that you radio in and someone has to be in your area and willing to pick you up in order for that to work. Alternatively, if people see you walking, they may try to offer you a ride in their vehicle. This seems a little bit sketchy if you're from the US, but this is pretty normal if you're on island, and you can spend $7 to $15 to get yourself from one place to another while using a gypsy taxi. Now the safari taxi is basically a bus that goes around the island, and it has set locations that it will drive to, but you want to make sure that you can time this right, and I think the travel is different on a Sundays as opposed to the rest of the week. Now if you're driving, just know that the roads are narrow and windy, and they can be a little bit unpredictable at times. If you're planning on walking from place to place, I would say that only for the city centers themselves. You cannot really, as close as everything seems, it's not safe to walk from your Airbnb or whatever down to the city centers. We went through this experience and it was quite harrowing because there are no sidewalks going from major location to major location. So save your walking for in the city centers themselves. If you find yourself within Charlotte, Amalie without being able to find a ride, you can always head through to the Pablo's supermarket. This is also the best way to manage cost if you're trying to make sure you're not spending too much money. You can get, a lot of the whatever your alcohol and food is for a pretty reasonable pricing on the island. There is also a Kmart. Yes, I said Kmart, that is located just up the street from Pablo's as well. So between those locations, you should be able to find whatever you need. So with that, I want to thank everybody for taking the time for watching this content. I know this was a lot of information, and that was intended so that I hope that you learn and are able to plan effectively for your vacation to St. Thomas. You can also find links to a lot of the content I have covered here in the comment section below. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell. I hope you have a wonderful vacation, and thank you again for watching this content. Have a great day.